Miami Dolphins, they make a nice move here today, and it's a low risk, high reward move. They signed Will Fuller the fifth to a 1 year contract, and the Dolphins obviously they need a second wide receiver behind Devontae Parker in that starting lineup. And Will Fuller, he was an absolute fantasy and football monster last year for the Houston Texans before he got suspended a few games towards the end of the season because of PED use, and that's why the 27-year-old Fuller only got a 1 year prove-it contract to see if he could stay clean. And throughout his career, the problems he's dealt with was injuries and obviously last season, the suspension. But Will Fuller, he's a speedy receiver. He could stretch the field. He could get open. And he's a matchup nightmares for cornerbacks in the secondary of other teams. So Will Fuller, he was a huge fantasy player last season. He made a lot of plays. He put up huge stats in some huge games. And in 2019, he had 71 targets, 49 catches, 670 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. And last season was the biggest year of his career, 53 catches, 879 receiving yards on 75 targets, and 8 touchdowns. But the PEDs might have been an enhancer, obviously, for Will Fuller staying healthy and putting up big performances. And obviously the suspension hurt his free agency contract, because if he wasn't suspended and he continued this season putting up those big numbers like he was on track for last year, he probably would have got a 3 or 4 year contract at big money. But now he goes to Miami to rejuvenate his career, and the only problem I have with him going over there is Tua Tagovailoa, Jacoby Brissett are going to be the quarterbacks there. And those guys, they don't really target or get the ball down the field the way Will Fuller liked it with Deshaun Watson to stretch a defense and burn a secondary to the end zone. So Will Fuller this season for fantasy football, he's a player that probably could get away with being your third or fourth wide receiver on your fantasy roster, and a player to probably target anywhere from the 6th to the 9th round in your fantasy drafts. I don't love the landing spot in Miami for him, with obviously Tua Tagovailoa as the quarterback, but him and Devontae Parker, that's a pretty lethal 1-2 combo that could get open and work off of each other. So Will Fuller, he gets a 1 year deal to sign with Miami, and hopefully he stays clean this season and can contribute for the Miami Dolphins and fantasy owners in the upcoming 2021 season.